Southbank Show, in association with Anderson Consulting.
In tonight's Southbank Show, we travel to Jamaica, the home of reggae music, and to Birmingham, the home of UB40.
Jamaica's just a small island, but the effect that its music's had on the whole of the world is immense.
20 million records come out of Jamaica every year, which is ridiculous. That's a phenomenon, you know, for the amount of people that are here. The place I long to be.
That's all we played was reggae music, and so it became a seriously big part of my life.
Just to see the girls that play.
It's the sexiest music in the world. When it's playing very loud and you can feel it, and you're holding on to a lady, it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling, you know. I mean, no other music moves me like reggae does.
UB40 are arguably the most successful reggae group in the world. Bob Smeaton's film tells the story of the group's formative days in Birmingham over 20 years ago, and how their subsequent success has given them the opportunity to meet and record with some of the artists whose music has been the inspiration behind their desire to play reggae music.
The choice of playing reggae music was the easiest thing in the world for us, because that's what we all loved as a, as a unit. Not to play it, but I mean just, just the choice of, of what sort of style of music. This is Trafalgar Road, and this is where we really got down to learning to play our instruments. But there's a house we're coming up to now on the right-hand side. It's actually this one here, this beige one, and there was a cellar downstairs which we converted, and we started, to learn to play. Oh, this pub here now, on the corner of York Road and King's Heath High Street, it's called the Hare and Hounds. It was actually the very first show that we played, and it was for a friend's birthday party. I think we did about a 40-minute set there, and that was really nerve-wracking.
I didn't actually discover an existing form of music. I was listening to ska, which was Jamaican pop music. It was like American R&B, but twisted, turned around. And in fact, it was the same material, because almost everything that came out of Jamaica was a cover of an American song, an American R&B tune. So it was familiar in that sense, because it had the R&B feel to it, but it was the offbeat and the bass line,
Did the fact that it had these Jamaican roots, was that an exotic attraction? Did you find this was added to its attraction?
Absolutely, yes, of course. It was like nothing I'd heard before, and it was exotic because it was from a faraway country, and all these black people around me were playing it, I don't really know. I just thought it was the greatest thing I'd ever heard.
The immigrants who flocked to Britain in the late 50s, early 60s took their music with them. And that is one of the interesting aspects of how that music seeped into the mainstream of British pop music.
All of a sudden, there was a load of Jamaican kids in our neighbourhood, and then before you knew it, there was house parties every single weekend that started on Friday night, finished Monday morning. You just couldn't go anywhere in Birmingham without hearing it.
Was that your experience as well? Was it just the fact that it was all around and insistent?
I think so. It was new. It was the music of the youth. See, when I got into it, I mean, I was aware of ska and everything, and I own ska records, but I fell in love with Rocksteady, really, which was when it slowed down.
She said, get ready, run, come to the Rocksteady. She said, get ready. Oh, it's the sucker to me, baby. And all right, 'cause Moon Boy are getting ready to go Rocksteady.
Well, after Rocksteady comes reggae in roughly 1968. And that has really remained the kind of generic term for popular Jamaican music.
Reggae got soul, got so much soul. Reggae got soul, got so much soul. One time I listen to the beat, move it and sing, yeah, rock me while you line, yeah, 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 all the time.
Had you all been at school together? Had you known each other for quite a while?
We went to school together, you know, most of us, from the age of 11 sort of thing. But we found ourselves unemployed, and we were unemployed for 3 years, you know, after being thrown out of school around about 15, 16. First year, of course, we wanted to get a job and couldn't in those times. We were the 1 in 10, you know.
I was the one. I was an apprentice electrician.
Yeah, and we were the other 9, right?
I got a deposit for a saxophone.
Yeah, so then after a while we didn't want a job, you know. After being unemployed for 2 years, when you're a kid like that, you know, and all your aspirations. I can remember being, you know, at the bus stop, you know, at 8 o'clock, having to go in and sign on every day because I was always late, thinking I'll never have a car, I'll never have a house, I'll never have anything, you know, and it's like, you know, built up a resentment sort of thing.
My arms enclose the dope, mouth pushing out my head. My eyes are black and lifeless with an underprivileged state. I'm the beggar on the corner who no one spare a dime. I'm the child that never learns to read, 'cause no one spares the time. I am the 1 in 10, and I'm around to live. I am the 1 in 10, even though I don't exist. Nobody knows me, but I'm always there. Statistical reminder of a world that doesn't care.
How did you decide to form a group? I mean, how did that come about?
Ali got a criminal injuries compensation. He was glassed in the face on his 17th birthday with a pint glass. And I think he got £3,000 compensation. And with that £3,000, he basically equipped himself and Jimmy. He bought equipment, you know, and said to his mates, I want to start a band, who wants to be in it?
None of us had a clue about music. Robin knew 3 chords. I didn't know the tenor saxophone was tuned an octave and a tone above concert pitch. I'm still not sure what it means now.
Neither am I.
But, you know, I kind of...
But it sounds all right to me.
Did there come a time when you thought, well, we've got the grip on these instruments? Was that, I mean, did you... when
That time will never come.
No,
you know
it never comes, I don't think.
Because it's not so much, we don't focus on singular performances, you know. We are what we are when there's 8 of us playing. Any one of us on our own would be pretty dismal.
What sort of interest was there in the group when you started?
We hyped the whole thing. Me and Brian used to make posters. And in fact, even before we'd got our instruments together, you know, people were in the pub saying...
Have you seen UB40?
Have you seen UB40?
We put posters everywhere.
Yeah, they're great and all that. We'd be going, whoa, wicked, yeah, really good. And we hadn't actually, so there was a bit of hype going on there.
We were very hungry.
But we hyped ourselves in and around, you know, a 6 Mile area, Borsall Heath and Moseley and all that, which is where we did our first shows, which became very popular.
Did you feel from the start that you were going to reach an audience, or was it always?
Oh yeah, we had it plotted out. We're going to do Top of the Pops, get a gold disc, and go on the Johnny Carson show.
Right.
And then Madison Square Gardens, of course.
Well, and after that happened, what did you do next?
We did it again.
We did it again.
Yeah, and again, and again.
Oh, we were very
and
confident.
again.
That's why we laugh about it, you know, ourselves. You know.
I mean,
we didn't think for a minute it wouldn't, nothing would, you know,
Really? We were very arrogant and very precocious.
What do you think that came from?
Fear. Because we had nothing and we had to have something.
You know, we knew each other, as we said, before we were a band. We knew each other's limitations, or we knew what we were good at, you know, outside of the music. So that kind of, you know, gave us a lot of confidence, I suppose. We supported each other already. There was no room to become a star, kind of thing. We were all going to be stars.
Bob Lamb, who's also from Moseley, Borsall Heath, he had listened to us in the local pubs, and he went and approached this guy called Dave Villa, who owned Graduate Records, and went, look, you know, these kids are causing a stir. Have a listen. He listened, and then he said, all right, come into my studio, let's record an album. And we worked out a deal. And when we got to there, it was actually his bed set. And if you strip, like I said, if you strip my track down, I was out in the garden with the birds, you know what I mean? And so you can hear like loads of mad things happening in the background. It's this one. That one. I was one of them anyway.
When we made that album, that was what we could play. It wasn't like we could step outside and say, let's have a jam with something. It wasn't like that.
You could play those 13 tunes.
Yes, that was
those
it.
tunes, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we rehearsed from 9 until 5 every single day. And we'd only play in Birmingham once every 6 weeks because we didn't want people to think we were easy.
This is the repertoire that we bought with our first album money. So we have a recording studio, so we can record anytime, anywhere. It's where they used to slaughter pigs, and then we had to come in and clean it up, get the pig blood off the walls and things. And as you can tell now, it's international, Depp International Studios, 248-track studios, and top-of-the-range stuff, computerised and everything. So anytime, day or night, we can come in and record.
Were you surprised that the reggae you played took off to such an extent?
I think we were the acceptable face of it all, you know. And also we weren't a Rastafarian band, you know, which alienated everybody, basically, especially in America. You know, the fact that there's 2 white faces in the front, you know, and 1 obligatory Rasta in the middle, you know, or what seems to be an obligatory Rasta in the middle. You know, I think that's what made us, you know...
Made it easily digestible,
popular.
maybe, but that wasn't styling on our part. That, you know, we were a bunch of mates, so it was the way it was.
talk a little bit about, at this stage, about Bob Marley, because about a year after you had your first hit, Bob Marley died, of course. I mean, what did he mean to you two, Bob Marley?
Well, he was... For me,
reggae.
yeah, he was. He was Mr. Reggae, if you like. I mean, like he had brought reggae to the world, if it, outside these little cliques that we were talking about when we was younger. You know, he was the first reggae superstar, and it was a big shock when he died. But I wasn't scared that reggae was going to all of a sudden fold and disappear, because you know, there was other artists who'd been playing reggae before Bob Marley.
The time he died, he was poised to be as big as Bruce Springsteen, I'd have thought. You know, I mean, he was playing to crowds of 100,000 people in America before he died. So, you know, I mean, for me, he was just, everything happened in the, as I was saying, musically, you know, the formation of reggae through the rocksteady period, everything, the mid-60s to 1970, everything happened in reggae, everything. Yeah. But African Herbsman and the Wailers was the sound that took reggae into the 70s, and he was just the #1 act, you know, all the way through the 70s.
I never met him, but I saw him when I was a kid, 1974 or something like that, at the Odeon. And it was like the closest thing to a spiritual experience that I've ever had. You know, I can say that, you know what I mean? It was like, it changed my life.
Labour of Love was an important turning point for you, wasn't it? 1983. It was because it was you saying, this is what we want to do in a big way.
That's why we called it Labour of Love, you know, and it was very successful. But, you know, it's not difficult, I don't think, to make a Labour of Love album successful, because they're all great, they're all classics anyway. Every song to us were #1s. It's just that they're only #1 in the 12-mile circle, you know what I mean? Look, to us, they were classics. The fact that they didn't get into the major charts, or it wasn't really relevant to us. And it's like I say, 1, 2, and 3, they're all what we consider to be reggae classics. So that, you know, they should be popular.
You've obviously met a lot of the people whose works you're recording.
Our idols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's that been like?
Mind blowing.
Very emotional, very emotional. I mean, you know, to meet these people and realise that...
Can you give us an example or two?
I met Winston Groovy last week.
Yes, we did, yeah.
Which was, you know, wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when I was a teenager, I used to dance and cry to his records, you know.
Well, that'll be Reggae, and earlier I was, man.
Yes, boss.
There's a lot of people.
Hello, Robin.
Earl, Winston Groovy, man.
Wicked beers, man.
One of the songs the group recorded on their first Labour of Love album was Winston Groovy's Please Don't Make Me Cry. During the making of this film, the group took the opportunity to invite him to their Birmingham studios to add his voice to their recording.
Have a seat, please.
I know that tune.
You know that tune?
I know that tune.
He's re-recorded that song several times, but my favourite is his original version. I love it to bits. And it just takes me straight back to being a kid, being interested in dancing and women, or girls. Girls and dancing were the most important things in my life at that time.
His key's all right, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sing this key.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't change the key on him.
You know, to tell you, the first place we had this was in a youth club.
Right.
With like 600 little skinhead kids. No, for real. Now, where was you when you did this? Where did you record this?
Where did I record?
You remember?
In London.
London, yeah.
I can't remember where we recorded our version.
No?
That was only 15 years ago.
If there hadn't been cameras there, I'd have been blasting like an idiot. It's just the most wonderful feeling in the world. They're our idols, you know.
Torpedo label.
That record got me together with my wife. So you're responsible 20 years of alimony payments, basically.
Yeah, turn the tune up, man, so we can have a listen.
I got my first passport to
Yeah, turn it up, man. Leave that bit in. Winston, just changing the tape over, man, but when it goes up next time, you want to sing?
Safe there, Winston. Yeah, man, safe.
Go on, Winston.
Volume up there.
You say you're gonna leave me, but I'm begging you to stay. But baby, I can't get through anyway, yeah, no I can't. And when I wake up in the morning, if you are gone, little pretty thing, you know I'll be all alone. I'll be crying, please don't make me cry. 'Cause I can't say goodbye. Please don't make me cry. Because I know there'll be nothing left for me. All them good times we spent together. You said it was me and no other. But now you wanna make me feel pain inside. Darling, I know you're gonna make me cry. I'll be crying. Please don't make me cry. Please don't make me cry, baby. Because I can't say goodbye. Show some sympathy. Please don't make me cry. Because I know there'll be nothing left for me. All this pain, I can't stand it. You're gonna leave this poor man on his own. Yes, you are. Oh, please don't make me cry. Please don't make me cry.
like Otis before. Sounds really Otis regularly. And it's obvious now. Otis texture. Seriously, Otis
All this pain, I can't stand it. You're gonna leave this poor man on his own. Yes, you are. Please don't make me cry, baby, I'm bleeding. 'Cause I don't wanna be all alone. No, no. I don't wanna be all alone, baby. Yes. Got to come and rescue me. It's time! Don't make me cry. Come on.
Let's talk to Winston.
Brian, what do you think, Brian?
You cool?
They're your idols, you know. They're not even supposed to know you exist. And when they say, oh, I love that record of yours, or, you know, I think your bass player's brilliant, or, you know that they've been listening to your music, which is the greatest possible compliment.
The highest new entry in the British chart this week comes from UB40.
Originally, when we started out, we really wanted to bring out Labour of Love 1 as our first album, but everybody says you can't do that. As a new act, you're going to be taken as a cabaret band.
We got talked out of it for at least 3 albums, you know, by the record companies who kept saying it's commercial suicide, you can't do that, you know. But it was just something we really wanted to do.
And rather untypically, the record companies were wrong because it was a commercial success. It was a terrific hit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it your first #1 hit came from there?
Red Wine.
Yes. Yeah, Red Wine, yeah. And there were 4 other hits.
A Neil Diamond song, incidentally.
All we knew it was by a guy called Tony Tribe. We didn't have any idea that it was by a bloke called Neil Diamond. On the record, in inverted commas, there was N Diamond, but like we presumed it to be a bloke called Negus Diamond.
One of the ironies about reggae music is that the innovators, the creators, haven't been able to bridge that international divide, except perhaps someone like Marley, and to a limited extent, people like Jimmy Cliff and other acts. But it's a group like UB40, which wasn't as doctrinaire, it wasn't Rastafarian. It also realized that you had to make a crossover product. But at the same time, preserve a certain degree of integrity. And they have, I think, done very well for the music. They have also selected key songs that have worked very well. Kingston Town, you know, even Jimmy Cliff's Many Rivers to Cross.
Many rivers to cross, and it's only my will that keeps me alive. I've been licked, washed up for years, and I merely survive because of my pride.
was the last thing that we did because that's how daunting it was. When I had to cover that song, I left it till the end, and when I did do it, I came up in like a, you know, a heat rash.
And it's only my will that keeps me alive. I've been washed up for years, and I merely survive because of your love. And this loneliness won't leave me alone. It's such a drag to be on your own. But when we let that say why, well, I guess I've got to try.
He did it good, though, didn't he? He did it good, and he worked so hard to get it good, as good as it was. Yeah, it's daunting. And it's not like you're trying to make a better version than Jimmy, or a better version than Bob, or Peter. It's not like that. It's about celebrating this arrangement I wrote, this set of words and these chord changes and progressions that just touched you in such a way that you'd listen to the record 100 times, you keep putting it on. Do you know what I mean? So that's how special it is to us.
Cry, woo, woo, woo. Cry.
I've noticed on this most recent album you've recorded 2 songs made famous by Ken Boothe. What can you tell us about him?
Crying over you.
I remember Ken Boothe when he was part of a duo in the early 60s, before reggae existed, when it was ska. He was singing, he was part of Stranger Cole and Ken Boothe. And Ken Boothe, I assume, must have been very much a teenager at the time. He must have been sort of 17 years old, I guess. And they had hits, but in the Rocksteady period, that was when, you know, Mr. Rocksteady, the album, about 66, which has Train Is Coming, Crying Over You, you know, that to me is one of the all-time great albums of reggae. It's one of the ones that must be. It's an absolute essential to your collection, you know.
I agree.
And he's a genius singer as far as I'm concerned. I'll get all jokey just talking about him.
I used to watch Ken Boothe on Top of the Pops. When I was like 13, he'd have lime green suits, platform boots. You know, the idea that Ken Boothe is coming to sing, put his vocal on our backing track. It's wonderful, you know, it's unbelievable. That's it. I'll play you something with you on the tenor. Let's go. Yeah, cool, man.
I really, really don't want to cry, cry.
Jim!
Crying over you in the morning, crying over you in the evening, crying over you. Don't know what to do.
He wobbles beautifully.
You make me feel ashamed. People say it's all in the game. Oh, woman, please let me explain. Then I know you'll be mine. Every day I pray to have you and to hold. Ah, yeah. Now that you are here by my side, I really, really don't want to cry, crying over you in the morning, cry in the evening, crying over you. Don't know what to people say it's all in the game. A woman, 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 let me explain. Then I know you'll be mine. Now stop right, right over you. Now stop side, side. Don't know what to do. Side, side. Every day, side, side. Don't know what to do. Yes, I'm crying, crying over you. Yes, I'm sighing, sighing, sighing. Don't know what to do. Crying over you. Sighing, sighing. Don't know what to do. Yes, I'm crying, crying over you. Sighing, and I don't know what to do. Crying, yes, I'm crying. Coach, I should have break. I'm mime at this now with the action look, right?
Just the fact that, like, you know, you've actually met them, I mean, like, that's, you know, like, stunning in itself. But then to hear them singing their song on top of your backing track, you know, it's just like, you know, you couldn't have written the script.
Jamaicans are very proud of reggae, you know, and the effect that it's had on the world musically. They don't, when we come, Jamaican people are interested that we're playing reggae and working music here. No, not this, not anything else. Nothing else comes into it.
You've talked once or twice about spreading the word of reggae. I mean, there's a feeling that you somehow felt you had to be ambassadors for it. You've been on massive world tours, partly for all the usual reasons, but also there's a feeling that you want to spread...
Promoting reggae music, absolutely, because it's the only thing that moves my muscle. I mean, really, you know, the only thing that truly elates me, you know, is good reggae music.
And did you feel you were sort of taking the reggae word to places that it hadn't been?
Yeah, that's what we've always said we were, you know, ambassadors for reggae, as far as we're concerned. It's the music that changed our lives.
You know, we want to help popularise it. The only way you're going to popularise it is...
Get out there.
By getting out there, you know, going to the places where nobody else has been.
So, my first question is, as you are the very first reggae band ever to tour in the USSR, and our audience got no experience of, well, what reggae music is.
Why did you decide to tour Russia?
It was the cultural attaché of some department got in touch with our office and said, would they come and play a tour? You know, simple as that. I think they thought we were sort of the acceptable face of, you know, Western pop music.
Love, I gotta keep on moving. Love, I gotta get up, down. Love, I gotta keep on moving. Where I can be found.
You've got this label in Jamaica.
Rockabessa Records.
Yeah. So what's that about? Why do you want that?
We're promoting, just as we're trying to promote the elder statesmen of reggae with the Labour and Love project, we're also trying to promote the other end, the young kids. This is the young kids.
I mean, we've still got the originators of this music are still eking out a living, playing hotels in Jamaica and stuff. And if it hadn't have been for them, we wouldn't have all this new stuff.
UB40 has a great knowledge of the music and they have good taste. So they're picking acts that they can bring a different kind of production value to what they do, and I think it would help to stimulate the music, because that's what I think we need more of now. People are crying out for new talent, for fresh talent.
Well, them up clean up. Strong ganja weed up, the fish will steam up. If I the best girl, them clean up. When we don't have taxi, get lean up. Just girl to me by my side and not the paper. And I'm a clock, I with them by raper. 100% they give me as a love maker. I am the girl them on the acre. Hey, girl they get funky, now my name I call. Some say them a ranking around, it's small. The maga man, they are with them.
Reggae's not getting the attention that it needs. It seems to me accountants are really running the music business at the moment. That's a kind. It's become that accountant-led business at the moment, and it doesn't really have a lot of room for young developing artists.
Yeah, it's difficult getting records out because sometimes people don't really understand your style, and they would want to do it like their way. But sometimes you have like a different melody to sort of put your style to them. They're not really understanding, so sometimes they don't really want to back it, you know?
Once they would sign the artist before he even has a hit, like with Black Cobra and even Bob Marley. These people know they won't sign until they have a hit record or something, so like it's gonna break out.
G-Child representing in Tug Style, baby! Found and sexy by the ladies that me don't know from in the act and I get roses. I go, it's like hot girls miss away by them rose. If you know you're hot from your head to your toes, and in the ear cause you're well composed, and your golden shows, well. Hot girls miss away by them rose. If you know you're hot from your head to your toes, and in the ear cause you're well composed, and your golden, hot girls like Yuki. Every time I see you, got me want walkie, you're lucky. Golden cherry place, lucky, I will stick to the end. If not, but you a tea. I will jump in at your guts. The girl them say me rough, but me still tenderous. I'm fantabulous, but well famous. Them say me so plastic and I is splendacious. And them me got hot girls, me say we buy them rose. If you know you're hot from your head to your toes, and in a deer cause you're well composed, and your golden shows you the tongue style shows well.
Dan youth have a crowd that follow him, you know, for what him is, you know. And if I'm going working at it same way, you can never tell, you know, where I am one day.
Back to the sort of ambassador thing that you were talking about, Ali. The labour of love is bringing to a far wider public people whose initial songs reached quite a small public, and that's part of what you see yourself as doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Part of your sort of mission statement.
Yeah, because I mean, we're talking about, it's like, that's what I'm so proud about this programme, is that, you know, that people are going to get a chance to see Ken Boothe and John Holt, you know what I mean, again.
Winston Groovy.
And Winston Groovy and Culture Black and Don Youth, you know, I mean, it's great, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I do a lot of writing in my sleep.
Yeah,
Thousand Volts.
When me and him was like 13, 14, just out, you know, looking for girlfriends and that.
Yeah.
You didn't have that record, right? Or if you never made that record, we never started a band.
Yeah,
we got to a bar where that record is still played every day, and it ran this. Every single day I walk in, and your voice is on in there, man. It's inspired so many kids to make bands. Get into reggae,
Wonderful,
you know?
wonderful.
Bob Marley would never had an hit if you hadn't made that record. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, because it came in his hit after, really.
Yeah.
John Holt is so important, it's untrue, you know, it was 1,000 Volts of Holt was the album that woke British people up to reggae, you know, originally. That was the first reggae album to actually, you know, chart properly in the top 10.
1,000 Volts of Volt, that was essential listening in my neighbourhood. If you didn't have 1,000 Volts of Volt under your arm, you know, your clothes didn't look right.
Right here, sister.
That was your start then.
Tell them about the things that you do to me.
Yeah, don't just do an arm.
Tell them you're my best girl and best you'll always be. Tell them you're everything that's good, so good to me. I wanna be always close to you, to give an helping hand if ever you're in need. I want to be always so close to you. Don't have to try you out for size. You fit my heart, comfortable and warm. the only one I have no doubt, no fear about. Without you, what would life be? I want to be always close to you, to give an helping hand if ever you're in need. I want to be always so close to you. I want to be always close to you, to give an helping hand if ever you're in need. I want to be always so close to you. So close to you, girl.
Dangerous.
One take.
One take. You know, working with John Holt and Ken Boothe and Winston Groovy, and I heard a quote years ago. Somebody said, "Don't get too close to the things you love, you know, because the dust will rub off, the gold dust comes off." And but you know, and for us, it's the opposite, man. We get close, and these guys are just wicked to us, wonderful.
You know, we feel good for what they have done to help Jamaican music internationally, you know, and we always give them thanks and respect, you know, and support that they need from Rob and myself. We will give the support to them because they have helped us to put our music on another plateau, you know, so we give thanks.
The only thing that anybody respects in Jamaica is music, you know, they don't respect anything else.
Yeah, man, definitely make people say, you know, that show that it's not just music for Jamaicans only, or ghetto people, or uptown people. It don't really put a limit on where the music is being sold or marketed, you know? Which, from you on the music crossover, reggae music, you have to just say, respect to you, UB40, them cool, man. Nice.
Why do you think you've managed to stay together for so long as a group?
I think we realise that, you know, what we've got together.
Yeah.
You know, that none of us, apart from Ali, who's a very talented singer, none of us are particularly brilliant at what we do. You know, what we are is 1/8 of UB40, and the sum of that works, you know, and I think we all know that. I don't think we know what we're doing, but we know that it works, and as long as we stick together, it seems to keep working.
Yeah.
Yes, this disc is for this sound. At the sound of the beep, please move to the following track, UB40. Train is coming now. I said train is coming, baby, and I am leaving on that train, Lord. I said the train is coming, baby. I said the train is coming now. I said the train is coming, baby.
The Southbank Show, in association with Anderson Consulting.